Good afternoon, everybody. It's Monday, June 12th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the likes and the shares and the watching and the everything. So we have a lot to check in on. Over the weekend, we had altcoins dumping in a huge way. In the last couple live streams that we've done, we couldn't say altcoins are about to collapse, but we could say altcoins are very bearishly positioned. There's nothing bullish about the altcoin charts. The dominance chart is set for a bull break. The table is set with the narrative and the weakness we're seeing in the altcoins. And we know that the dominance chart can only break bull in two ways. The dominance chart breaks bull with all of crypto going up and Bitcoin leading the way, or all of crypto dropping and altcoins dropping a lot harder. And so if you've got bearish altcoin charts and those two scenarios as the only way the dominance is going to break bull, we got a scenario where dominance broke bull, altcoins collapsed, Bitcoin held on well, relatively speaking, but Bitcoin is still in control of the bears at this point. And definitely liquidations taking place with the magnitude, the speed and the magnitude of that drop that we saw over the weekend. So bears getting paid, some oversold bounces along the way, but staying bearish the altcoins because bears are just going to be looking for 12-hour lower highs, for daily lower highs, and we'll look at some of these charts in just a moment. But right now we got the NASDAQ hitting new 52-week highs as we speak. And with the crypto space where it stands, we know we are nowhere near the kind of strength that the stock market is seeing. That's something we keep talking about stream after stream because it's consistent as far as full bull control in the stock market, full bear control in crypto. And again, for Bitcoin, it's still a possible falling wedge, but that's really the only hope. The only hope right now is that, aside from winning court cases and things like that, the only hope is that Bitcoin is a daily falling wedge to try and set a 2-week higher low, and that everybody that just piles into Bitcoin and Bitcoin's the savior of crypto and everything else is junk, and that's really the narrative that is needed if we're going to see some short-term recovery. So right now, Bitcoin's a daily stair step. And yes, it's holding on a lot better. If you told me that, Bitcoin would be within 2-3% of where we started when altcoins dropped 20 to 30%, I'd say, wow, that's unusual. But Bitcoin's still not proving anything. And next time we bounce from where we stand right now, Bitcoin, anything under 27.4 is just a daily lower high. So Bitcoin can bounce $1,000 from here and still be in a clear daily downtrend. So I'm still watching for the possibility of the falling wedge, but again, the bears overall are keeping some control here. 4-hour time frame. Actually, let's go to the 12-hour on Bitcoin. So 12-hour lower high is set, 26.2 thousand. And looking down at 25.4, 25.3 as supports. So altcoin bears looking for lower high entries. Bitcoin bulls skeptical, but keeping an eye out. And that's where we stand. Definitely some oversold bounces to play on the altcoins, but you need to have some experience to trade those kinds of volatile drops. Dominance chart, bull break, highest level in years. So now how much follow through are we going to get? We'll see. Daily time frame, lots of space for a higher low, next consolidation. We're just going to treat it like a trend. So weekly, bounce off EMA 12 into continuation. The weekly uptrend remains intact. And we're going to look for a daily higher low as the result of next consolidation from here. ETH down at the lows. Tested the low of the weekend, 17.16. It just held at the moment. But if that level breaks, we're looking down at 16.88 and then 16.13. And with this ETH weakness, ETH BTC, last live stream was all about this support, knowing if that support broke, a weekly lower high was going to be set and a tightening range on the weekly time frame was going to shape up. And so that's now what we have. We're going to look for ETH BTC to give us a weekly higher low here. But again, with the dominance bull break, weekly lower high on ETH BTC, continued tightening range. In the previous live streams, we also talked about the names that were positioned best for the bears in the altcoin space. Which are the names that dropped the hardest? It's the names that were at year plus BTC pairing lows. So ADA, been talking bearish about ADA for a long time only because of the BTC pairing. And we were right above, last live stream, we're right above the lowest level in years. And look at the amount of ease and follow through that the bears were able to see once that level broke. And that's why you have ADA USDT on that bear break. I mean, over the span of a week, ADA just dropped a whole lot. 42% drop in a week. And again, nice bounce. If you like playing oversold bounces, there's some opportunity there. Where we ended up from that low. And again, you shouldn't anticipate that you're going to nail the low, but it was a 30% bounce. So we had this hourly higher low from that point. It ended up being a 20% bounce. But again, I would not suggest playing altcoins for bounces unless unless bounces are one of your edges as a trader and you have a lot of experience trading crypto. It's the only reason that you should be looking for oversold bounces in these, extreme climax scenarios. But as I mentioned, bears are just waiting for lower highs. Look where ADA topped out. Reverse back burners. ADA hourly RSI got up to 67.50. At the high of that candle, it was at about 68, 69. So right under 70, and that marks the top. And from that point, you can see we had an hourly stair step. The hourly stair step broke bear. Quick 4 or 5% pullback. Link, same deal. Link was hovering at the lowest levels on the BTC pairings that we have seen in a year, and it fell right through it with significant follow through. So the statement's going to remain the same. Any altcoin whose BTC pairing is hitting the lowest levels that we've seen in a year, 2 years, however long, they are the lead bears, and we should not be giving the bulls any benefit of the doubt. We should be extremely skeptical of bulls because we will not be trusting any kind of strength as long as the BTC pairings are in downtrends. And so again, we're just looking for daily lower highs on all these names. So even with the great 30% bounce on ADA, it's just a 12-hour lower high that we're watching for. And so on the hourly, is this a head and shoulders? I'd be watching for that as an aggressive bear. If we hold 2648, I scout an hourly lower high, my stop goes over 2865, and I say that's either the 12-hour lower high or I'm wrong. And we then either confirm the hourly downtrend into 12-hour consolidation or stop out with a small loss. Then we would look for a 12-hour higher low due to the size of that bounce. We know after extreme volatility in both directions, scout tightening equilibriums in both directions. So we're watching for the 12-hour lower high. If it gets set, we're going to watch for the 12-hour higher low. Need to make sure I don't have any open positions in stocks that I don't know about. So, scouting the 12-hour lower high on ADA. Go to Link. Link hasn't even gotten a 12-hour bounce underway yet. 4 hours just sideways. So you can treat this as an equilibrium with our tightening range sideways. And again, we will see these altcoins bounce on the way down. We'll see daily oversold bounces. We'll see weekly bounces. But you've got to use stop losses because it's getting ugly out there. And the fact that, any name that dumped, like let's just use ADA as an example again, but to dump from the high, the all-time high, and drop 92% and then hit a lower low after 100% bounce, that's a big red flag. If you bounce 100% after pulling back 93%, that needs to be a longer term bottom. And it's not. It's just a 4-month bear flag. Well, not even. We didn't even get a 4-month bounce going. It's a monthly bear flag confirming. So again, just be skeptical of altcoin bulls while we wait for this whole exchange and SEC situation to sort itself out. There will be some winners, but probably a lot more losers than winners. Which again, just be protective and play with trends while those trends are intact. So looking at the list here of crypto, who's down the most? Ape is getting crushed. So Ape down at all-time lows, at least on Coinbase. Again, just lead bear. Can Ape go down to $1.62? Why not? Watching for a daily lower high next bounce. And again, you just have to remind yourself that there's so many bears that are just waiting for the lower highs. I mean, Ape can bounce 50% and still be looking for a daily lower high. 4 hour right off EMA 12, 15-minute RSI right off overbought, setting the 4 hour lower high. So again, just use everything. If you're trading altcoins bearish, use everything that we have been talking about for years about trading the bull markets with back burners and entries for the longer term higher lows. You're doing it just the exact opposite. 15-minute overbought to scout 4 hour lower highs, hourly overbought to scout 12 hour lower highs, 4 hour overbought to scout daily lower highs. And if bulls are going to prove anything to us in the altcoins, let's just use Atom as an example. Daily bounces underway. A mile of space for a daily lower high, but the size of this bounce will have us looking for a daily higher low. So if I want to be looking long in the altcoins, you've got to have a level to play off of. And so you're saying, okay, big enough bounce for me to scout the daily higher low next consolidation. And then, playing from there if looking long. But it's the kind of thing where the only time I'm looking long in these altcoins, aside from extreme oversold bounces to try and, sell partial, put your stop under the low and get risk-free, is if you haven't been looking long. If you've been making profit as a bear or if you've been sitting cash, then, you can give it an attempt. But if you're trying to go long and you've stopped out 3 times in the last 2 weeks, you just got to stop. Stop trying to counter the trend because it's not working. BNB. So again, another one that is crushed daily stair-step drop. So a lower high every single day for the last 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 days in a row. It's looking like a volume climax potentially shaping up for today. Just by, we can look at this and say, okay, 6 hours left in the day, and we're probably going to see higher volume than 2 days ago. 4 hours, still very weak overall. So this would be shaping up for a potential bear exhaustion kind of bounce. But again, it's just bears are going to be scouting every lower high. 12-hour lower high, bears are going to be waiting. Daily lower high, bears are going to be waiting. So at this point, it's a 2-hour inverse head and shoulders attempt. Or 4 hour, let's see what's most clear. Just a 4-hour trend change attempt. Have to clear 239 for a 4-hour uptrend to confirm and for us to then zoom out and scout the 12-hour lower high. Hey, Joate. Thanks, Umriquiviad. $12 EMA very often. Don't recall the last time I mentioned the 26. I use them for crosses. I watch for crosses. So if I can say, we just crossed bullish for the first time of EMA 12 and 26 in the last 3 months. That stands out to me as meaningful. If it's going back and forth, it doesn't mean anything. But if I can see the first bull cross in X period of time and it's significant, that stands out to me. I do not use EMA 26 for support and resistance, only EMA 12. I'm not looking to short the crypto stocks right now just because they're showing relative strength. I mean, MARA is green today. It's flat. To have the weekend that we had and to have MARA be flat, that's impressive. Coin was a good short first thing this morning. I didn't grab it, but the daily lower high is set. We're now going to watch for a daily higher low. But Riot, trying to confirm a bear flag. Pretty much I want to see QQQ weakness. Again, QQQ at 52-week highs. I want to see QQQ weakness if I'm going to have any confidence that the crypto stocks can have bearish follow-through. Because the QQQ grind up is keeping these names holding up well. Which name? Bearish? Use the charts. MARA divided by Riot. MARA has been stronger than Riot for a week and a half. If it confirms a bull flag, that will remain the case. First bull cross of EMA 12 and 26 in months. Any altcoin that still has a weekly higher low, and there's a handful of them out there, definitely stands out to keep watching. And XRP is one of them. XRP is a tightening weekly range. We are nowhere near hitting fear lows right now. So any name that is holding a weekly higher low absolutely is standing out with relative strength. STX, very clear daily downtrend. Nice bounce. Gave it all back. No confirmed daily uptrend. When's the last time we confirmed a daily higher low and higher high? Has not happened since we topped out at 131. At this point, we're watching for a monthly higher low to try and form, but the daily downtrend is a clear guide. Next time we bounce, anything under 68 is just a lower high. Again, identify something where I can say, STX has not confirmed a daily uptrend in over 3 months. So then I know that the next time STX confirms a daily uptrend, I can say, this is a shift. This is different. Bulls are finally proving something to me. So that can be something that we patiently wait and watch for. But it's going to take a while to develop, coming off of fresh lows after that drop over the weekend. BNB liquidation 129. I mean, safe for a while for sure. But I wouldn't want that headline, that negative headline cloud hanging over me personally. Where, you know, there's just, we can anticipate more bearish headlines before any bullish headlines, in my opinion, with regards to BNB. Does CZ get charged by the whoever? You know, it's just, a lot of bear momentum. Nope, not going to change the color of my EMA. I like it that color. Sorry. All right. So again, any coin, separate, write down, make a list next to your computer. Altcoins hitting new multi-year lows, make a list. Altcoins still in weekly higher low patterns, make a list, far fewer. And that allows you to very easily know who the lead bulls are, who the lead bears are, which names should I be watching for daily lower highs on? If the Bitcoin bulls do start to prove something to us, which altcoin should I be keeping an eye on the long side because they're still in weekly uptrends? Break down these cryptos, organize them so that you can easily know different groupings. Lead bears, lead bulls, middle of the road, etc. Litecoin is close to breaking our weekly equilibrium bearish if it hasn't already done so. It did technically already do so. LTC, BTC. Meh, I don't like LTC, BTC for any clarity, but Litecoin USDT, tons of space for a daily lower high, next bounce. We are officially in a weekly downtrend. And now we're looking at $65 support from here. I am impressed with the Bitcoin bulls. I am impressed that we are not rolling over into the low 20,000s. But I'm skeptical of the bulls because they're not proving anything to me except that they're holding on a bit better. The Bitcoin bulls are playing defense over the last few days. And I can say, all right, that's some impressive defense. But there hasn't been one sign of offense in the last 6 days. Aside from, you know, if you're zoomed in. But I'm on the daily chart. It's a potential daily falling wedge. If I don't see anything bullish on the daily chart, then it's just bear control. And again, I have to keep asking myself, what happens to crypto if the NASDAQ sees the inevitable weekly consolidation that's now becoming due 7 weeks in a row, higher low every single week? What if the NASDAQ pulls back for 2 weeks? So this week we've got CPI numbers tomorrow. Bitcoin will likely react a bit. FOMC Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. Bitcoin will likely react a bit. And the only hope is a 2-week higher low with a daily falling wedge bull break to try and impress everybody and say, wow, Bitcoin's holding real well considering all the bad news that's going on. But if Bitcoin breaks, 25,000 and hits fresh multi-month lows, then it's going to be lumped together with these altcoins, and we're not just going to be saying the altcoins are really weak. We're going to be saying crypto is really weak. So prove something to us, Bitcoin bulls. Even if we bounce from here, we'll just be watching for a daily lower high, anything under 27.4. And at this point, it is possible that we do tighten up for another week plus. If we do hold 25.3 and get a daily bounce going, we could bounce for 2-3 days, set the lower high, pull back for a few days. Next thing you know, it's a long holiday weekend, which is this coming weekend. Last one, AMP. All bears. Look at daily EMA 12. Again, simple statement. Daily EMA 12 has been resistance for 2 months. If daily EMA 12 is resistance, absolutely nothing changes. The bears have complete control. This is about as weak as you can get. Nothing bullish about this chart whatsoever. I would call anything under 254 a daily lower high. Another thing, be extremely cautious. You're going to see a lot of social media people, YouTube people saying now is the best time to DCA, blah, blah, blah. The probability that you're going to DCA into the right altcoin is low. And when everybody's been saying it for a long time, 99% of these altcoins are worthless and going to zero. So scaling into this kind of weakness into just altcoins because they're really beat up is not a good strategy. Ask anybody that's scaled into ADA at any point in the last 2 years. Year and a half. Just be really cautious scaling in. The only scaling in that I would be doing is long-term no-touch positions that you are allocating to go to $0. That you have fully prepared for $0, and that's the only reason you're DCAing. And for me, that's only Bitcoin at this point, and I'm not adding. I've already done it in 2017, and there's some ETH in there as well. But again, just the probability that you're going to choose the right altcoin is so low. It's going to be very difficult to recover from this, to have an all crypto bull market where all altcoins are going 500%. All right, one more. RNDR. So RNDR, got to be cautious of a weekly head and shoulders. It is a weekly uptrend, but if we hold 162, we are set up for a right shoulder to form and a weekly lower high to be the result of any bounce. I would be scouting a weekly lower high as a bear. I would be wanting 1628 to hold, and I would be wanting a solid 20% bounce to scout that weekly lower high. But for now, 4-hour puttering along with 12-hour EMA 12 resistance, potential 12-hour bear flag. If we negate it and break resistance, we zoom out and scout a daily lower high. Bulls will have to gain a daily uptrend for a weekly higher low to be set. Remember, if you've been following along for years, how often, every time, lead bull always turns into a lead bear. Always. Matic did it. I mean, you can go down the list and any name, any altcoin name that had a big bull run, the metaverse names did it. You go lead bull to lead bear. APT and OP did it. So I'm watching RNDR to go from lead bull to lead bear. We just went up 800% from the lows or whatever it was. And watching to see if it's going to turn into a lead bear. 700%. If the head and shoulders confirms, we zoom out for monthly consolidation. So again, skeptical of bulls. Make them prove it. Make them earn your money. DCAing into altcoins, probably not a good idea unless you are really all about a project fundamentally and you are willing to risk the capital that you're putting into it. Bitcoin, playing good defense, not doing anything on offense, burden of proof on bulls. Fundamental events this week to be keeping an eye on. Positioned poorly for any broader market weekly consolidation. I mean, pretty much at this point, look at where SPY and QQQ stand. If crypto is going to recover from here this year, we have to see the S&P 500 hit all-time highs. The S&P 500 is currently 9% from an all-time high. We have to see euphoria significantly return to markets. And it has over the last, 8 months to a certain degree. But if crypto is not doing anything bullish while we're going up for the last 2+ months and at 52-week highs, I mean, we need all-time highs in the stock market to try and kick in the euphoria where people just start throwing money at anything that hasn't run yet. We'll see. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the likes. We'll check back in a couple days. And really, all I'm checking in on now at this point is for daily lower highs or 12-hour lower highs in altcoins, specifically the lead bear altcoins. And can Bitcoin shape up a daily falling wedge? Those are the only two things I care about in crypto for the rest of June, really. Gonna have to be paying attention to headlines, watching what the SEC is doing, watching what the outcomes of these being sued is going to result in. Bearish cloud hanging over crypto. Just got to keep that in mind. It'll pass eventually. There'll be a cycle, but not right now. Do good things. See you next time. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for your patience. It is Monday, June 12th, 3:20 p.m. Eastern. I was just trying to grab a meta short for this little, I was looking for a QQQ to be a little blow off top, at least just for 5-minute consolidation. So just covering a little bit of that. And then we'll get into checking in on the charts. All right. So QQQ just had a very strong move up into 52-week highs. Lack of resistance, certainly a factor with the significance of that move. And we're just going to look for a 5-minute higher low on this pullback. Little volume climax there up at the high. Bulls in full control. Certainly remaining the theme for now. And QQQ, really, it was, bears controlled the start of the morning. And then once we knew the hourly high or low was still on the table. And then, of course, once we hit that new high of the day, bears were not present at any point. Look at the 5-minute EMA 12. and just the uptrend guide just grinding all day. Started to accelerate once we broke the high of Friday, picking up speed, a bit more than just a grind up. And now a little temporary blow off top to look for a 5-minute higher low on this current pullback. The bears would have to confirm a 5-minute downtrend if this is going to be any meaningful pullback, but again, then we just zoom out and scout an hourly higher low, with bulls having a whole lot of space to work with overall. So checking in on the futures chart, we've got the S&P 500. New 52-week highs, full bull control. Again, just the daily benchmark levels. Every little support that we establish on the way up is a new higher low. And so looking at SPY, we'll say anything above 425.82 keeps the bulls in complete control on the daily chart. The next resistance for SPY is up at 442.51 as the next clear, meaningful level. And for QQQ, next meaningful level, again, the daily support is at 348.18. And the next meaningful resistance level is up at 366.49. And again, just the daily EMA 12 and the daily uptrend as our guide for full bull control. We got the FOMC, and we're heading into the FOMC with bulls very comfortable, where the more we run up into the FOMC, the more space we'll have, or even if it's a bearish reaction, the bulls will be looking for a daily higher low to try and form. So we still got tomorrow and the CPI tomorrow, but currently 3% above daily support. Dollar. 12-hour bear flag confirmed with zero follow-through into a bull break. The dollar is trying to still shape up this weekly bull flag. Looking at the 4-hour, we had this falling wedge type of support established this morning. As far as resistance, I'm watching that resistance level just because there's a lot more touches on this one. And we will see if we get up to that level. But the metal's not performing with gold, with the dollar seeing this strength. So gold still range bound and sideways on the daily. Silver, daily uptrend intact. And miners, bear break of the low of Friday. Daily lower highs still clear. Oil, bears in full control of the daily. 67.03 broke, so now it's just the 63.90 recent low. Energy sector holding on well, all things considered. But oil bears back in control ever since that gap up opened, pretty much a double top. It's been nothing but profit taking, and we are approaching many month lows. 63.90 here on this futures contract is the low of the year, the low of 2023. So that's significant. And natural gas, daily trying to set up this higher low for the trend change attempt. 4-hour downtrend is still intact. Bulls have to confirm a 4-hour uptrend for the daily higher low. But so far so good. That's fairly healthy consolidation on the daily chart with the amount of retracement we've seen at this point. But keeping the burden on bulls because we have not confirmed a daily uptrend in the last couple of weeks. Have to confirm the daily uptrend for the weekly higher low to be set. And the bulls will need to break the high of today tomorrow. And Bitcoin not doing anything. Just did the crypto live stream. Bitcoin sideways the last couple of days, trying to hold the recent low while the altcoins are overall much weaker. And crypto stocks weak today. Coin, well, overall MARA holding on well, but coin with the clear daily lower high. And coin will be a lead bear as long as those daily lower highs remain. Let me fix this link real quick. Should be working. It logged me out. That'll do it. Whenever I have to switch from the public live stream to the private one. Anyways, that link's working for now. Thanks for posting that YouTube link. GS. So GS daily stair step remaining intact, and we know it's a lead bull just because XLF broke its stair step today and started daily consolidation. That said, it's very bullish. It's looking like a daily bull flag right now in the financial sector, but GS didn't even see that daily consolidation underway. Higher low every day, 7 days in a row. Looking back up to the 344.83 weekly resistance. If that breaks, we confirm the weekly uptrend, and we confirm a monthly higher low. So we know the financial sector has been acting as laggards over the last week plus, and they are certainly keeping that the case with the strength we're seeing at this point. And if XLF turns around and breaks 33.29 within the next day or two, that's a daily bull flag confirming, and weekly resistance will be right there. And again, the narrative for bulls, well, the narrative for bears was there's no breadth. There's only 4 names taking this whole market higher. And the narrative for bulls was just wait for the laggers to take their turn. And so far, that's the case with IWM continuation today, the financial sector. Well, I shouldn't say IWM continuation, but IWM trying to shape up a bull flag. XLF trying to shake up the bull flag, and XLV trying to confirm the daily uptrend. Again, these were all our weaker sectors, and they have all been strengthening over the last week and a half. So at this point in time, there are no red flags for bulls in the market right now. We can look to narratives, we can look to fundamentals, we can look to events coming up. But as far as price action, rotation, trends, I mean, on a daily basis, when the bulls had control like this morning, we could see it was still very much an inverse relationship between XLF and QQQ. And if you're in an uptrend and there is an inverse relationship between two of the major sectors, that's essentially the bulls not having anything to worry about, because we know the only way that this current daily strength will be derailed is with all major sectors hitting the low together. And if that is not happening, there is some form of rotation going on. So today, QQQ pulled back on the morning for that first 30 minutes or whatever it was. And while that was happening, XLF was strong for the first 20, 30 minutes. And then XLF pulled back into daily consolidation, and QQQ bulls took over. And they're just swapping out. XBI short. Let's see. We did have a pretty significant bull morning on XBI, but then we had an hourly downtrend. No, not an hourly downtrend. An hourly pullback that was significant enough to watch for an hourly lower high to be the result of this next bounce. And so we're anticipating that that hourly lower high is most likely anything under 90.18. And we're watching for a loss of the 5-minute uptrend, which is close to happening here. But a loss of the 5-minute uptrend to be the first indication that an hourly lower high is shaping up. And so, current support right now, 88.47, 88.46. If that holds, have to see a 5-minute head and shoulders confirm for the hourly lower high to be set. But we know the bears are only going to follow through if we break the low of today tomorrow, which would be confirming an hourly downtrend. Then we would zoom out, and we would look to daily support of 87.21. So essentially, bears are hoping that it shapes up similarly to what we saw with this candle. Bull break, but weak close into a couple days of consolidation. So bull break, fairly weak close. Have to break the low of today, tomorrow to see any daily consolidation. So just have to recognize that trading counter trends right now, but I do agree that an hourly lower high is the most likely result of the current bounce. For me personally, it's not the kind of setup that I would want to short and swing here. It's the kind of setup that I would be looking to scout a bearish position first thing tomorrow morning, watching for that hourly lower high. But it all depends on personal preference. Some people are much more comfortable swing trading than me. What is that, CCI? Or is that supposed to be CCJ? CCJ is strong. We'll look at CCJ in just a minute. But CCI, daily, technically an uptrend. Higher lows and higher highs. Support 111.62. Actually, it looks like we lost the higher low and then no bear follow through. Either way, the weekly bounce is underway. It's a very weak weekly bounce at the moment. Anything under 136.29 is a lower high. The simple statement is if weekly EMA 12 is resistance, the bears have full control of a potential bear flag. Daily inside bar today. Initial bounce high was 115.95. And so that's the short-term level. Bulls must get over, we'll just call it 116. And we just pulled back Friday from that level. Bulls are trying to keep it in play. So that is a key short-term resistance level. AI had some relative weakness today along with PLTR, but QQQ just kept grinding higher. And eventually, AI was able to snap out of it over the last hour, which is pretty much when QQQ turned on the momentum a bit. And that's a big save for the bulls. We were right on top of the low of Friday. And QQQ, again, I just keep repeating it, but the bears will, there will be relative weakness in individual names. AI had relative weakness all day today. But it only lasts so long. It's fleeting if the ETF that it's tracking is not going in the same direction. If QQQ is just going to keep grinding higher, that relative weakness will not be able to withstand the ETF continuing higher. It only will for a certain period of time. So this is an example of a lead bear positioned well. If QQQ sees hourly consolidation, nope, QQQ is going to shoot up into fresh 52-week highs with no resistance in play. And so now AI is a tightening hourly range where I'm just viewing it as high of Friday, low of Friday, lower high, higher low. Just a real nice hourly equilibrium. If we fail 38.33 tomorrow morning, it'll continue to tighten up. The burden is on bears to prove to us that a daily lower high is being set. We're in a stair-step pattern over the last 5 days where bears have been unable to prove anything during that time. But I do like the hourly for clarity there. IBM for a swing long. So at this point, an aggressive bull is looking for a daily higher low, watching EMA 12, watching first hourly oversold conditions. A patient bull is waiting for weekly consolidation. And there's been a lot of patient bulls that have been waiting the last 3 weeks saying, all right, where's my weekly consolidation in the NASDAQ as we keep grinding higher? So you need to determine with a weekly stair-step pattern 6 weeks in a row, are you going to enter on daily consolidation or are you going to patiently wait for weekly consolidation knowing it may be a little while? Bigger picture, monthly higher low set. So it just depends on which time frame you are going to use. Still a clear bull move going higher. But again, it's got to be on consolidation. Can't be chasing with these daily RSI levels at historical pullback points. Tesla included. Tesla impressive daily inside bar holding strong. but can't initiate any long swings. The risk reward is just not there when you're this extended. Can keep going for another few days, absolutely, but we know that daily consolidation will be due on names that are this extended. So Meta, anything under 276.57 is a daily lower high. There is relative weakness on Meta compared to QQQ, but not today. Today, Meta did a good job of having some relative strength for the first time in a couple weeks, but it's the same thing that we talk about on the short-term time frames. Meta bears are not going anywhere if QQQ just keeps grinding to new 52-week highs. QQQ must see daily consolidation if Meta is going to set a daily lower high. So we're watching the hourly uptrend on Meta, keeping an eye out for hourly consolidation. There is a lot of space for a higher low to form, anything above 264.15. We would have to lose the hourly uptrend for a daily lower high to shape up. But today was a confidence builder for bulls after a weak bounce attempt the last couple of days. If QQQ has a bullish reaction to CPI and or FOMC, Meta is going to be looking right back at these recent highs. Again, have to see QQQ red. QQQ's green now 3 days in a row. Have to see red if these names like Google, like Meta, like Microsoft are going to give us daily lower highs, which are possible only with a red QQQ. Apple back to looking at the all-time high. Held daily EMA 12, held the daily uptrend, and now it's just 184.95. Hourly uptrend is our guide. We have had the hourly uptrend intact since Thursday. And all-time highs back in play. Only way we will set a daily lower high is if QQQ is red tomorrow. So CCJ, all bulls. Again, this is a perfect example of time frames. So we know we're watching the monthly equilibrium. We finally get the bull break. And if you miss that bull move, this is the consolidation that shows you it's extremely healthy. Back test of resistance holds as support. Inside bar, bull break into continuation. And now the only resistance is 32.37, and that's the highest level of years. After 32.37 is 37.33, highest level in a decade. So CCJ is going to remain lead bull as long as the monthly uptrend remains intact, and doing a real good job of starting the week off with some nice continuation momentum. IWM is a daily bull flag attempt. If you are looking short, you are playing off resistance. And you're playing counter trend and counter momentum, which is why you've got to use a strict stop loss. So you're either playing off of 186.68, the high of today, which is a double top with the high of Friday, or you're playing off of 187.77 to give a little bit more wiggle room. But the bulls are liking what daily consolidation is currently looking like. There are no red flags. A red flag would have to come from the inability to break daily resistance, essentially failing a bull flag and dropping to fresh lows. IWM in the month of June is up over twice as much as the S&P 500 as the laggards play catch-up. It's just a question of how long can bulls keep that going. And as far as today is concerned, we have to hold 185.09 and break the high to confirm the hourly uptrend and confirm the daily higher low is set. So best case for the bears tomorrow would be failing 186.68 and breaking the hourly support level. That would decrease the probabilities of a daily bull flag. But if we hold 185.09, it's going to be a daily bull flag. So that's now a key shorter term support level to be watching. XLF is trying for the daily bull flag as well. Need to confirm an hourly uptrend. Anything under 37, make that 33.27 is an hourly lower high, but it's a big enough bounce to scout a higher low. If we confirm an hourly uptrend, daily bull flag, looking at weekly resistance. And again, names like GS leading the way are testing that weekly resistance now. We're 1.3% under it. I guess XLF is roughly the same percent away. Just over 1% away. Burden on bears everywhere. Burden is on bears to show us that XLF cannot break the weekly resistance. Burden is on bears to show us that IWM is not a daily bull flag. Burden's on bears to show us that I'll say XLV, burden on bulls to confirm the daily uptrend. And burden on bears, certainly QQQ and SPY. So it's another event. I'm having deja vu where I talked about this months ago, where we're heading into a fundamental event where the bears need help. They have to see a reaction in their favor. That is their only chance here. Baba's still watching for the monthly higher low to try and shape up. So broke short-term resistance, but no follow-through. That is a bit of a red flag. We broke 4 days of resistance and closing fairly weak. Anything under 91.43 is a weekly lower high. We're struggling at weekly EMA 12. We've got to see a weekly trend change shape up for the monthly higher low. Right now it's a monthly inside bar. So I forget where I talked about this recently, maybe the Friday afternoon live stream, but I like the 2-day time frame. If we fail 91.43, it has to be an inverse head and shoulders for the bulls to try and shape up the monthly higher low. So the burden is absolutely on the Baba bulls because they have not been participating over the last couple of months. And with that bull break and no follow through, if we break the low of today tomorrow, that's the first indication that our 2-day lower high is shaping up compared to 91.43. NVDA. So SMH is a weekly bull flag. It's on the verge of confirming. Daily downtrend confirmed with 0 follow through means scout a flag. NVDA is the same thing. It's not as strong. We're not as close to resistance. We're still 6-7% away from the all-time high. But if daily EMA 12 is support, the bulls have full control. So daily inside bar on NVDA. And it is, taking a turn here where NVDA is cooling off sideways while AMD is testing the recent high. TSM, higher highs. So this is an example of laggards playing catch up. NVDA leads the way. Everything consolidates in the sector together, but we've got continuation in TSM, continuation in AMD. Not officially, but we're right there. And NVDA is not close to continuation. So this is NVDA lead bull taking a breather, catching its breath, while laggards see continuation. And we're looking at CCJ as the leader in the uranium space, and there's a bunch of other names that are nowhere near as strong. So we're watching names like UUUU to be a laggard. It's got a double top at 656. Can we break and play some catch up? So whenever you see the leader in a sector make a significant bull move and then trade sideways, crypto does this all the time. Bitcoin leads, it trades sideways, altcoins play catch up. NVDA leads, it trades sideways, peers play catch up. So NVDA is not weak, it's just not as strong the last few days compared to the laggard sector peers. What else did I want to look at? What's cost doing today? Still trying to grind for some follow through. F bulls have been on absolute fire. They're looking for a daily higher low. Keeping an eye on hourly oversold conditions for F. Not close to shaping up, but with the size of this breakout, 2-week equilibrium bull break, we will be watching for a daily higher low to be the result of the pullback. NEE, still on the weaker side. It's still in its tightening range as well. 2-week higher low is officially set, but it's looking a little rising wedgy. Each daily bull break straight into consolidation is not what bulls want to see. So keeping an eye out to see if NEE gives us a 2-week lower high. I may be looking for a 2-week lower high short just because I know my dad's got a bunch of this in his IRA because he used to work for the company and, you know, got shares as a part of whatever. And I said to him, you know, we really need to hold these mid-60s. And he says, I'm confident in the long term. I'm not worried about it. But with a pattern that clear and that long term, if that breaks bear, I definitely want to offset some of his bull exposure. We'll see how that breaks sometime this summer. Coin still closing very weak, not being helped by QQQ strength today at all. Tesla's knocking on the door of its recent high. Still has not broken it, but it's right there. There's definitely a lot more people bullish on social media the last 2 weeks, but there's still the whole bear crew talking fundamentals and saying they're not covering their shorts because the macro will eventually catch up. So it's just a question of how much pain is the market going to put on these individuals before we get weekly consolidation. DIS, we're scouting a weekly lower high at this point. Anything under 103.91. The daily uptrend is our guide. New higher low is 91.30. So 91.30, most important short-term support. If we break that level, the weekly lower high is set. But we're at the bounce high. Next resistance, 94.24, 95.11. Keep an eye on that monthly EMA 12. Monthly EMA 12 has been resistance for a year and a half. Nothing changes on the longer term if monthly EMA 12 is resistance. Have to get over that for the first indication that the character of this downtrend is shifting. So heading into the end of the day here, we're closing strong with SPY and QQQ up near the high of the day. So the two questions from here into the next couple days. Can XLV confirm the daily uptrend? Is XLF and IWM, are they bull flags? And how long can SPY and QQQ keep the daily uptrends going? No fake outs here. There's no fake outs. There's no bear break straight into V-shaped bounces. We have been setting daily higher lows for an entire month. QQQ even longer. So is Disney an inverse head and shoulders? Keep in mind, an inverse head and shoulders is just a downtrend changing to an uptrend. So here's your lower high, lower low. Big bounce. Certainly a big enough bounce to scout a higher low. Little bull flag attempt. So technically you can say we just confirmed a daily uptrend. So we were in a daily downtrend and we just confirmed a little daily uptrend. So if you want to call that inverse head and shoulders, you definitely can. It's just a downtrend changing to an uptrend. You could also, because that's such an insignificant small little pivot, go to the 2-day time frame and keep an eye out for it there, where if we fail 94.24, we look for a 2-day higher low to try and form a more clear right shoulder. NASDAQ futures chart, we're not really extended on any time frames. The weekly RSI is a little high, definitely. In the stair step, we know the consolidation's inevitable. The bulls started this week and said, nope, we're not ready for weekly consolidation yet. But as far as the daily, the 4-hour, all these RSI levels are not overextended. SMCI. Did we get the hourly oversold here? I don't think so. Probably got down to 33 hourly RSI this morning or so. Certainly a big bounce. 4% off the low of the day. But daily consolidation's underway. So again, it's the same statement. Microsoft, Google, these names are potential daily head and shoulders. They are positioned well. If QQQ sees any weakness, it's just a big if. Does QQQ see any weakness for these names to shape up daily lower highs, or does it keep grinding higher due to the lack of resistance to help save these bearish setups and head back to recent highs? We'll see what CPI does tomorrow morning, and I will see you all then. Have a good rest of your day.